Hello everybody, welcome back to Peachy Disc Golf. Today we have a interesting little challenge for you today. It's just going to be me. I'm traveling for work here at Rosedale Park in Kansas City. Got the GoPro strapped to my head, obviously, for these solo videos. For our today's challenge, we are going to be checking out this brand new Dynamic Disc Supreme Plastic Escape. This disc is releasing later this month. I got this one from Throw Joe's. Check out this sweet die. It's a beautiful disc. So the Supreme Plastic is pretty much Dynamic Disc's equivalent of the Latitude 64 Royal Plastic, which is some of my favorite plastic. I actually have a video coming out on the channel of the front 9 here at this course. I'm doing it a little backwards. I did a sort of a Royal line 9-hole challenge using only discs from the Royal line, but I love this plastic, and this Supreme Plastic feels pretty much exactly the same. I'm sure it's either similar, if not exactly the same, since Latitude 64 and Dynamic Disc are all part of Trilogy. So this plastic feels spectacular. And what I'm gonna do is I wanna compare it to a couple of similar 9-speed fairway drivers. So all of these discs have similar numbers. They're all 9 speeds, 5 glide, -1 turn, and I think 2 fade, somewhere around there. The Tesla might have a little bit more, but speaking of which, I want to compare it against the Tesla, which I have here. I have this in Fission plastic. So this is going to be less overstable than a standard neutron or especially cosmic neutron Tesla, which are going to be more overstable than this. And then also we're going to compare it to another disc that is a favorite of mine because of its die, is this Discraft Undertaker. So 9.5, -1, 2, all similar numbers. We'll see how they compare in flight, and that way maybe if you guys are trying to decide between these as your fairway drivers, if you want something straight to overstable, maybe this video will give you a little help. Just so you can know about me, for my arm speed, it's not great. I can sometimes hit a 300-foot drive with my wave, but usually we're shooting around 280, so not very far. So we're gonna start out on hole 10. Got the GoPro connected to my head here, so let's go see how these just fly. All right, before we get started, why don't we test out each disc here in the field. We'll do a hyzer flat and then Anheuser shot with each disc, and then we'll play a couple holes here. I'm not sure which ones. I'll just sort of choose some of the more open ones as we play through. So just go hyzer first. We'll start with the Supreme Escape. Okay. There was a little flip up and then just a nice smooth fade at the end. Next up, we'll go with the ESP Undertaker here. That one has a little more fade, it seemed like, than the Escape, and it didn't really flip up as much. Didn't really flip up at all. Last one we're gonna do is the Tesla here. Now this is in Fission plastic, which is the most understable Tesla I think you can get, but it does still have a very nice fade at the end. I've really liked this for more overstable shots, even when compared to my Undertaker. Yeah, so that one actually was similar in flight on a hyzer line for me. I think I threw it a little bit harder than the Undertaker, but let's go see where they landed. All right, so here's my Undertaker. This is the furthest left. Tesla just a little bit further, and the Escape was definitely the furthest right. So as far as similarities go, my Tesla and Undertaker were fairly similar. The Escape was significantly more understable right out the box. All right, so now we're gonna throw flat. We're gonna again start with the Supreme Escape. Wow, that goes nice and straight. I think I had a little bit of hyzer on there. It was a little low as well, but that was a really nice flight. All right, next up we're gonna do the Undertaker. Similar in flight, but more overstable finish. And then lastly, we're gonna go with my Fission Tesla. A lot more skip with that one. It looks like that one actually carried straighter than my Undertaker even. I was a little surprised. Here we are coming up to the discs here. So the Undertaker went the least far, it looks like, but the furthest left. And my Tesla and the Escape are on top of each other. But I do think I threw the Tesla a good deal more right than the Escape. So both the Tesla and this Undertaker are flying fairly similarly for me. I think I'm getting a little more distance out of the Tesla here, and I'm getting more of a flex with the Escape. So this is like the least stable of the three. Different feel for the Anheuser test. So really I want to try to just sort of bend it around this tree, and we'll see if it holds the line or if it fades out. See, that holds pretty good, and a little fade at the end. All right, next up we'll try the Undertaker. That was pretty good. Oh, that was a pretty good throw. And lastly, the Tesla. And that one you can see is fighting out way earlier than the other two. Yep. All right, let's try out some shots now. So we're at hole 10 here, Rosedale Park. The basket is straight ahead here. On UDisc it says it's 275 feet, which I don't believe. This does not look that far. This looks like 250 at the most. So straight ahead, downhill as well. Put a little hyzer on it, aiming at this tree. Yeah, that flips up pretty nice. And oh, skips in front of the basket. That should be a nice, easy 10-footer right there. So next up, we'll try the Undertaker here. This one I'm not gonna put as much hyzer on because I believe it's more overstable. So this one I'm gonna go flat, sort of aiming at that same aim point. Oh, I turned it over, and that's not gonna fight back that much. Oof. That is the thing with that Undertaker, I find, is it does hold the line pretty good. So last up here, going with the Tesla, flat release, aiming more for this tree on the right now, actually. So we'll see how that goes. A lot of fade. Yeah, not bad. All right, let's see what we got here. So the Undertaker was definitely not a great throw. It's behind this tree, I believe. I think if I would have thrown it flat, it would have been pretty good. That was the angle I wanted. I do not see it anywhere though. Oh, here it is. So it had some decent fade, good distance. So here's the Undertaker. The Tesla, you could see, should be makeable. And then the Escape, you can see we have a nice easy 10-footer. So that was a great throw with the Escape. All right, unfortunately we got a big old glare here, just the sun right in front of us for hole 11. The basket is, you can see, pretty tightly wooded here, and it banks off to the right. So I think we're gonna have a pretty good attempt with this Escape, but we'll see how the others fare as well. So we'll start with that. Put a little Anheuser on it. That kept the turn. I put a lot on it, and it was just at the end starting to flatten out. So now we'll try the Undertaker, and we'll see if it fights out a little bit earlier. I put a lot on that one too. And that one kept holding also. I'm not sure, that one was a worse throw for sure. Last one here with the Tesla. This is the one I would expect to fight out the most. Oh, a bad throw. It was starting to fight out there, but honestly, all of those were pretty similar. All right, so now you can see where the basket is. So not too big of a bend. Tesla is here, obviously, because we hit that tree. I do think the Undertaker is going to be in the brush here, because I threw it a little too inside. Same with the Tesla. I just got a little luckier with the Undertaker. I think that's the Escape right by the basket, though. Oh wow, I was wrong. So the escape was here, and we got a little 20-footer, and that means that's the Undertaker with the 10-footer. So both of those worked out pretty well. Oh, so lucky I hit that flag. Honestly, neither of these discs would be the disc I would throw. I'd probably go with my Virus or my Insanity. But yeah, pretty interesting. All right, finally a hole where I would actually consider using these discs. This is a hole 14. You can see the basket. Actually, I don't even know if that's the basket that I've been playing to. This is supposed to be 332 feet. That looks a little closer, but we'll aim for that one for now. But you can sort of see from the tee pad here, just a bend to the left along the road. So first up, we have the Escape. Now, because of its slight understability, I'm going to put a little hyzer on it, aim for this tree, and hopefully it fades to the left. Ooh, that was pretty long. Next up, we got the Undertaker. This one I'm going to throw a little flatter. Actually, we'll throw the same line just to see how it compares. Oh, I threw it too wide. It flipped up though. Got tangled up in the tree. So that actually had a good flip. I put a good amount of arm speed in on that. Last, we'll try the Tesla here. Little hyzer as well. Oh, too inside and not that much flip.
That's good.
All right. Aha. So if I was looking, the Mach 3s that I've been playing to for today is tucked more into the woods. So that Tesla shot was money. The Undertaker's very far off to the right. I don't think it's in the road though. It's probably in this ditch. And the Escape should be somewhere in between. So here is the Escape. So the basket that I was aiming at over here, the basket that I've been playing at is over here. And now we get a look in the leaves for the Tesla. That wasn't too bad. It was a good deal more inside. So you can see I was trying to come in through this gap here. It's right here, basket's over here. And again, the basket I was aiming for way over here. So the Escape had my best throw, but overall, all of these discs would have been great for this hole. All right, we'll do one last hole here. This is hole 15. We're aiming for the white basket for sure this time. And this is a very pretty hole. What we're gonna be trying to do is straight down the gap here on the left and the right. You can see trees in the way. And then also there are some big low-hanging branches as well. So we can't sky it also. So we're gonna start with the Escape. Nice, a little short. That's a pretty good line. Oh, I yanked it. Oh, that had a really lucky redirection. All right, and last one up, Tesla. Money. Pretty similar to the Escape, but a little bit better skip. I wish I would have been able to throw this Undertaker as well as I threw the other two to have a full comparison of all three. But here you go, you can see the results. We're left with a 30-footer or so with the Supreme Escape, and then a 15 to 20 from the Tesla. So both of those are pretty good shots. We'll drain one of these real quick. Nope. That should be good if it misses that. All right, so that's in between the Escape and the Tesla. It had a little more finish than the Escape, but it definitely started fading earlier even than the Tesla, surprisingly, but less strong. All right, well, I am all finished up testing out these 3 spectacular 9-speed fairway drivers. I figured I'd give you some of my final thoughts on the discs. Overall, for this Supreme Escape, I really like the way this disc flies. It has a little bit more understability than the other two I've noticed. And this plastic just feels absolutely amazing. Between the Tesla and the Undertaker here, it's a bit closer. Honestly, I could see removing one of these discs in my bag if I needed to, because they do fly remarkably similar. Now, it should be noted again and emphasized that I am throwing a Fission Tesla, and it's actually fairly low weight as well. I think we're looking at like 153 grams. So if you're throwing a neutron, or especially a cosmic neutron Tesla, you're probably gonna have a much more overstable disc. But this lightweight Fission Tesla is very similar to this Undertaker. And honestly, I like the way the rim feels better in my hand. Overall, I really like MVP drivers. They are some of my favorite as far as hand feel goes. Plastic, again, that Royal Grand and this new Supreme plastic is definitely my favorite plastic that I've ever held. But rim shape and the way that the disc feels in the hand, MVP discs and Axiom discs are money. I just love the way that they feel in my hand. So if I had to choose between the Undertaker and the Tesla here, I'd probably keep the Tesla. But it's hard to get rid of this Undertaker because look at this sweet die from Throw Joe's. It's so pretty. I would be hard pressed to take this disc out of the bag. The only time I really take it out is if I'm playing a course where there's water, or if I can lose the disc, because I'm like, I'm not gonna lose that disc. But overall, I do think there's room for both the Escape and either this Undertaker or this Fission Tesla, because this Escape actually has more understability. So you can do a couple of different shots than you can with the other two. If I wanted to have 3 completely different discs, maybe I would try out a neutron or a cosmic neutron Tesla to really see. But over in that overstable 9-speed, I've been using a Ricky Felon from Dynamic Discs that I've really been enjoying for something super, super beefy. But overall, if you're looking for a straight to overstable fairway driver in the 9-speed category, the Escape is a great disc. I really enjoy it, and this Supreme plastic is so good. If you want to see what this plastic feels like, just look for a disc in the Royal line with the Grand plastic. You like the Royal Grace, Glory, something like that. Those are all excellent discs, and they have similar, if not the same plastic. It's definitely my favorite plastic that has been produced so far. I love using it. That's gonna be it for this episode, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't yet, we would greatly appreciate it if you would consider subscribing to the channel. If you enjoyed watching this video, be sure to give this one a thumbs up, and then also ring that notification bell so you can be notified when our next episode comes out. And until next time, guys, cheers.